Good afternoon. Here we are for roll reveal number 245. This is going to be a 1952D plastic tubed roll. Don't know much of anything about this roll. All I know is that it came out of a box full of rolls that I purchased. So I guess we're going to learn about it together. Let me get the flip inserts here. There we go. Get that together. And here we go. Get it started here. Hey, Joe, Yeoman, Scott, Patrick. Alright, coin number 1. It's going to go to Deanne. And since we don't really have any knowledge of double die reverses on 1952D, I think I'm just going to go through the obverses on this roll. Make things go a little bit faster, yet still be interesting. Hello, Dennis. Joe. Alright. Wasn't anything on this first coin, so I'm just put it off to the side. Very nice looking coin, though. Decent grade. Looks like all these are kind of nice coins. Let's check number 2. Coin number 2 now. Go to Jim Fletcher. Got a few different things that we're looking for on 1952D. All of them involve the mint mark area. We got a very interesting RPM that a lot of people don't know about that actually shows a D coming out of the rim below the vest, below the lapel and vest area. Then there are a number of other RPMs, but we have to be very cognizant of the fact that there are also broken mint mark punches that have what appear to be split serifs on the lower part of the mint mark that turn out to be actually nothing. Okay, let's see. We have a die scratch from the lower 1 to the inside of the 9 there, going just south of east. Keep track of this die so we'll know. We're not really finding anything on this one. I'm going to flip it over and take a look at the reverse real quick and see if there's any errors on the reverse. Nothing that I see. So we take that and move on to coin number 4. Jeff Dunn. Not seeing anything here for Jeff. And so we'll move on to coin number 5. Coins are very nice grade. Very good looking coins. Adam Chambers, coin number 5. And coin number 5 is the same die again. The die scratch from the 1 to the 9. So we have no variety going on here, but we do have a nice looking coin again. Coin number 6, John Brandon Bow. And again we have a normal coin with that die scratch from the 1 to the 9, although it looks quite worn out here where you can barely see the scratch, but it's the same one. Perhaps we have a number of different stages of the same die here, which would mean that these coins were dumped into a large hopper with others. An entire day's production. Mixed together and then poured out into the bags. Sometimes dies can last up to 3 or 4 or 5 days, but generally they're a 1-day thing, maybe 2. Here's Sureg, coin number 7. Same 1 to 9 die scratch again. This one's got a die crack running across the bottom. Something tells me that could be a master die thing, because I'm seeing it on pretty much every coin, and these coins appear to be from different dies. So that would be news to me. Something new I haven't really looked for before. It's a marker of a 1 to 9 die scratch. It seems to be showing up on most of these coins, regardless of how early or late the die state is. So here's one where it's really strong. It has another scratch down below it. So this could be a normal thing for 1952D. Now that I look at it, I haven't really noticed it before. I know why I'm having a little bit of trouble. I don't have my glasses on. I'll put my eyeballs on. Oh my gosh, now I can see. There we go. Mr. Marshall, coin number 9. See, there's that same die scratch again. Exact same position, every single coin. The D mint mark on these particular coins tends to be the large D mint mark. There's a large and a small. The D mint mark that 1953 generally used is the large mint mark, this one. There's that die scratch again. See, there's not another scratch under it, so that tells me this has got to have something to do with a master die, with that scratch showing up on the same place on every coin I'm going through here. Don't see any doubling on this one. That was for Bulldog. Coin number 10. Now coin number 11. My next show will be a 1961 D roll. I think we're going to get that kicked off right around 5 o'clock. Should be able to start it at 5 and be done with it by 6. I don't know if you've missed any of yours, but if you didn't, then you haven't missed anything on the coins, because I've not found anything of collectible value on these coins yet, other than the fact that they're pretty nice looking 1952D coins. So that's the only part of it that actually has come out as a positive so far. Oops. Put 2 names at once. There we go. There's DN. Coin number 12. And it looks like we have just a normal 52D Lincoln cent. Super Bowl doesn't come on for another few hours, so no point sitting around waiting for it to happen. Might as well do something. The small D that I know of for the 1952, it's only that 1 year. I haven't seen any of them yet in this roll, or I would have shown you the difference. I just don't see any of them in here. So it's likely they were only using dies that had the large D mint mark punch on the day that this batch of coins was minted. Here's number 14 now, Adam Chambers. Got no RPM on this one either. like to look at these once in a while on the reverse, not to only ascertain that I probably have no double dies on these, but also to look for any errors, anything that ended up punched into the coin. You could have an entire retained staple punch on the reverse or something, and the obverse would still look completely normal. So you never know when you might run into something. Oop. I might have been seeing something, but I didn't. Well, seeing things is what I was doing. You can't watch the next video. Well, my next video will be going from roughly 5 until roughly 5:45, maybe 6 o'clock. Be done in plenty of time for kickoff. Got nothing going on this coin either, so we're going to move on to the next one. Number 17 now. Start this one off for Yo Man. Got nothing in that area. Large D once again. Looks like this whole roll will probably turn out to be large D. And 18, Jim Fletcher. And unfortunately nothing going on with Jim Fletcher's coin here. Now number 19, Jim Worley. Got a total of 7 shows to do before auction time Tuesday, so I can put more shows up to sell. So I got 6 scheduled for today and tomorrow, and then I got 1 scheduled for Tuesday before the auction. There's coin number 20, Mike Birchman. Another normal coin there. And here's number 21, Jim Fletcher. 1952 is also a unique year for Lincoln Cents in that the 5 used in the date is a 1-year type. They only used that particular 5 right there, that particular font of 5. They only used it the 1 year, 1952. 1951, 1953 were both larger 5s with a very curved lower point. This one's a very small and straight lower point. Why there's not really any published information on the 2 different sizes of mint marks for 1952D, I believe, is because there was not enough of a difference in relative population between the 2 to make one of them valuable. And if it's not valuable, most people don't care to know about it, which I find to be a travesty, because learning about coins and knowing about the coins and what they were and why they were minted and everything else, to me, is a lot more important than knowing how much it's worth and which ones are more valuable. Just understanding the coins is the prime objective. Good afternoon, Eric. Not finding any die varieties in this roll of 52D so far. We are coming up with some rather nice examples of 1952D Lincolns. There's a little minor RPM, very minor, showing up mostly only on the upper serif. Has that extra little tiny bit of a serif sticking straight up out of the north there. It's not going to be a listable die variety because it's just too minor. Yeah, I unfortunately, when it comes to facts and figures, I tend to have one of those steel trap memories. I remember stuff and can repeat it years later. So this is exactly the kind of hobby that gets my head spinning, because I'm remembering so much information that I have to be able to spit out later. Helps a lot for understanding the minting process and knowing how the dies are made, knowing how the coins are made, so that you can ascertain for yourself one way or the other whether or not you have a coin that has damage or whether it's a mint-made error. Knowing and understanding the minting process is one of those things that's absolutely necessary to you being able to properly attribute errors. Not necessarily die varieties. Die varieties and errors are two completely different things. Everyone will look at you like you have three heads after you start talking coins. It doesn't take long. It's one of those things when you actually have to get around other people who know coins. You get around other people who know coins, and then you can be the talk of the conversation. I put that on there reverse up. Let's take a look at it obverse up. Yeah, might actually look better reverse up because there's nothing on the obverse to be looking at. Nothing there really. Joe McBride, coin number 27. And for Tim Morrell, coin number 28 now. This is actually quite amazing that we're not really finding anything in this roll that is of any sort of listable value. Nothing there. So why don't we just get it out now? For those of you watching the Super Bowl this evening, why don't you give me a winner and a score? Just tell me the final score of the game. Anybody want to shoot it out there? We'll see if you're right. Tomorrow after the game's over, we'll go back and watch the show and see who was right, who was wrong, who might have been closest to the actual mark. There's Jim Worley. And Jim Worley's going to get another regular 1952D Lincoln cent. So we got our first prediction in from Adam Chambers. Chiefs 35, Tampa Bay 18. Now I got Joe. KC 27, Tampa 17. Mine was actually 35-21, Kansas City. May as well write it in there, right? That way we'll all know. Tampa 34-27. Well, there you go. That's mine. My wife has a rather unique characteristic for this game. She has lived in the town of both teams in the Super Bowl. We lived just south of Tampa Bay for 10 years. And she lived in Kansas City for a number of years earlier. She is for Kansas City in this game. I generally point toward the AFC regardless of who's playing, so I like the AFC better and I prefer Kansas City to win. That and plus, I see there's another one of those with a little extra thing on the top. I may have to go back through and pick those out. That may be a listable variety. I'll go ahead and set this one aside. That way I can take a better look later. See if I have any really good markers on the reverse. Help me pick these things out once I get finished with the roll. Well, it doesn't look like there's any especially good markers on the reverse. There's a little die scratch between the E and the R of America. I don't see a whole lot else though. There's a little die scratch running east off the bottom of the O, the one that connects the O and the N of one. But nothing really big. There's your die scratch between the E and the R, the center of the E and the R. We'll have to see. James Eubank says 35-28 Kansas City. There's a lot of people stuck on a 35 score for Kansas City. John Brandon Bowe gets the next coin. It's coin number 33. Bucks 27, Kansas City 24. It's a new lower score prediction, showing the Bucks as the winners. I am not, never have been, and never will be a Tom Brady fan. So, the fact that he's playing in this Super Bowl kind of makes me want to root for the other team regardless of who they are. Sir Gold now. Boy, we're just batting 1,000 for nothing in this one. Alright, here's number 35. Tim Morrell. What do we have on 35? Well, it looks pretty much normal. Now, coin number 36. Bulldog. Just not seeing anything in this roll. Is that one minor RPM? Seeing nothing else in there. And the minor RPM, I think maybe too minor to list. I'll have to pull them out. If I see it as being nicer under my regular microscope, I'll pass them out on the recap of the roll as I go through it. But right now, I've got nothing pulled out of this roll. You kind of have to watch the YouTube channels, because a number of the YouTube channels are clickbait, and they don't give you any real decent information, nor do they give you correct information. They're just looking for more people to click so they can watch the ads, and these people can earn money based on the ad revenue. There are a few channels that are like that, at least a few channels. They'll ask a question on the thumbnail, making you think, or in the title, making you think you're looking at one thing. Then when you actually open it up and watch the video, it's completely different, and they never answer the question you went in there to have answered to begin with. That's Sereg next. Unfortunately, nothing here. Wait a minute. Something didn't work right. Well, that was coin number 41. Here we're on coin number 39 now. So they got a little bit out of, the holder's got a little bit out of order, but I'm not going to let that cause a big stink. It's just 50 coins and 50 flips. Whatever matches up with whatever. Alright. Nothing going on there. Take a look at coin number 40 now. It doesn't look like anything here either. Good afternoon, Robert. Alright, that's coin number 40 for you now. Let's stick 41 back where it belongs and put 42 down next. 42 next, Steve A. The penny bowl. We can call it whatever we want to, I guess. I'll stick with Dudsville. I have 2 rolls in a row with not much of anything in them. Kind of a little depressing. Kind of like the chill in the air outside. I know it's not real cold around here, but it is only about 40 degrees. It's been cloudy all day. Never a good thing. Okay, nothing again there. James Worley, coin number 44. Nothing there. Coin number 45 is Mr. Marshall. Oh, what a sanitary looking roll. Very clean, very original. So all these dies are just repeat dies. So it's not a put together roll. This is definitely an original BU roll. But it is almost completely devoid of anything with any real premium value. Other than perhaps if you get a 66 or a 67 out of this. I haven't really been looking, but if you do get a high grade coin out of this, it would be a pretty expensive or pretty valuable coin once you had it in a holder for NGC or PCGS. There's coin number 47, Techstar. Well, it looks like we're not going to have time to kick this next show off at 5. So I will kick it off at 5:15. Get it started at 5:15. I need a few minutes to get things ready for the show before we actually have it. There we go. Number 48, Hampton. Might be one of the minor RPMs. I'm also seeing what could be a doubled eyelid on some of these. I'm going to have to take a better look at that under the big scope and see if we don't have just a convenient die gouge. Yeah, Dennis, you can have every bit of your sub-zero weather. Not for me. Not for me. Definitely not for me. By number 49 now, Mike Birchman. There's Mike Birchman. Now coin number 50. Yo man, stick around, watch yours. And then we'll be done with this roll. Alright, as I had expected, another normal coin. There's a lot of RPMs and a lot of minor eyelids and things like that to find in 1952D, so it's generally a pretty exciting year, but this particular roll turned out to be pretty much empty of any of that neato stuff. I guess we'll try to look next time, see what can happen next time. But here's what we're going to do. I've got 4:48 on the clock right now. I'm going to start right around 5:15. So stick around and go back out to the channel and find that video and click in there. And sit in the waiting room and have some popcorn while you're waiting for me to show up. I appreciate it, folks. Got nothing left right now, so I'm going to go ahead and sign out and come back in. I'll talk to you later.